Sorry, we're going to start from where we ended from. Okay, I was still talking about the problem these people or the missionary faced in East Africa. One, they were disturbed by tropical diseases. For example, sleeping sickness, which ended up killing most of the missionaries. They were attacked by mosquitoes. As you're seeing here, their bodies were spoiled by flies in the forest where they used to move. The other one is about language barrier. It is believed that when these people came to East Africa, they knew their own language, not understanding our language here as African, whereby in their coming, our languages, let's for example, Kikuyu language, Swahili, Kikuyu, Luganda, disturbed them a lot, where they could face a lot of problems to communicate with Africans. The other one is unfavorable climate. As it's seen here, that these people were disturbed by rain, sunshine, which ended up making their work difficult. They could not move due to this, since it disturbed their movement. As it's well known that when rain is too much, it affects movement of people. And by then, in fact, they lacked this modern transport that we're having. For them, they were just moving, making movements. Whenever they could get rain, their movements were cut. Inadequate funds is another point. That these people, when they were sent to Africa or to East Africa, they lacked funds, or they had inadequate fund to support their activities. For example, it is believed that these people used to do charitable work through constructing schools, hospitals, but due to the lack of or inadequate fund they had, it ended up disrupting their activities in East Africa. Safety and robbers. It's well known that when these people were moving in different parts of East Africa, they used to get people to carry for them their luggages wherever they go, carry for them their things. Unfortunately, that the people they trusted to carry their things ended up stealing their things, which ended up making their activity difficult in East Africa, since they lacked what to use due to theft and robbers in East Africa. Hostile tribes. For example, when you read very well in this history of East Africa, it tells us that these missionaries were disturbed mostly by the Kikuyu, Maasai, who were hostile towards them, whereby they ended up killing these people since they were not happy with their activities, and hence affecting the missionaries' activities in East Africa. Dangerous wild animals. For example, lions. These lions affected the missionaries' activities since wherever they could move in forests, around the parks, these animals would end up attacking the missionaries. Through that, the ending results was death, meaning that these animals ended up killing the missionaries since they were man-eaters. For them, they were after flesh, hence affecting the activities of missionaries. Slave trade activities was another effect that the missionaries faced in East Africa. For example, that when they came, they tried their best to stop slave trade, which is believed to be it's believed to be a bad act and inhuman, whereby people were beaten, were forced to work. Due to that competition in between missionaries that whatever you're doing is wrong, let's stop this and we do this. This ended up affecting their work, since the Arabs were not happy with what the missionaries were doing, hence affecting the work of the missionaries. Then when we go to how they overcome the challenges. One, they condemned slave trade. It's through this that these people went on preaching against slave trade, telling the Arabs that what you're doing is not good. It's against the life of people. So this ended up being solved and giving good life to the missionaries, hence supporting their activities in East Africa. Condemned some African cultures, for example, killing of the twins. That when these people came to East Africa, they found us when we are practicing these habits of killing the twins, since as Africans, we believe that it's a satanic thing. But when they came and told Africans that whatever we are doing, it's not good. Instead, they told Africans to respect whatever God brings, hence allowing their activities to move on well. Established ex-slaves rehabilitation centers, for example, at Bagamoyo, whereby these slaves, especially those who lacked where to go, that whenever they were released, these people just came straight to these centers, which were built for them for settling or as their homes, to remove them from the other stress of suffering, to bring them to the life of happiness, hence making their work easier. Built better roads. It's believed that in Africa by then, our roads were poor, whereby even a single or a small bicycle would face it difficult to move through those roads. But when these people came, they tried their best to construct roads, which ended up easing the movements or their movements to different parts of East Africa, hence making their work easy. They softened many African hearts through their preaching. For example, as I earlier mentioned, that they softened many African hearts. At first, as Africans, we used to take these people as our enemies. But these missionaries came to us and preached to us that have the same blood. So this one ended up bringing us down, making us loving to everyone, hence welcoming the other people who came before them, after them, not before them. Developed legitimate trade. It is this trade that was introduced to replace slave trade, which is believed to have affected many people in East Africa, whereby many were killed, many lost their people. Since were taken, mostly energetic people were taken. But after this, the coming of the missionaries, this trade was replaced by legitimate trade, hence giving liberty to Africans. Used some Africans as interpreters. Yes, that Africans were used as interpreters in very many corners, whereby they were the ones to interpret for the missionaries whatever they were not understanding in their journeys. But because of the love they showed to Africans by appointing some people to be used as interpreters, for example, Smeka Kungulu, who was used in the eastern part. This one ended up creating good relationship between Africans and missionaries. So allow me to stop from there. We meet next time. I remain Baguma Emmanuel, student of Bachelor of Arts in Education. Thank you.